Hey, I hope all is well. We are back again on a nice Thursday afternoon. Guys, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you share. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. All that good stuff. You guys know the drill. I greatly appreciate it. Also, Donfo.africa, Donfo.africa. Please go to Donfo.africa, visit Donfo.africa so you can learn more about our many tours and trips that we are running. Man, why are you upset? Come on, man. Lead with the good news. No, we're going to end on the good news. Okay. We're going to end on the good news. All right. That's what we're going to do. We're going to end on the good news. So, tour Sierra Leone, we are leaving in 10 days. We are leaving in 10 days. I got one more spot. So if you want to roll to Sierra Leone with us, let me know. And we are going to leave in 10 days. Citizenship tour. So I am taking individuals who are eligible for citizenship in Sierra Leone. If you take a DNA test through African ancestry, and if it links back to Sierra Leone, you are eligible for citizenship. So that's what we're doing. But at the same time, if you just want to come and have a good time, you're more than welcome to come and visit the beautiful country of Sierra Leone. Again, you are more than welcome to come and visit the beautiful country of Sierra Leone. So we're leaving in 10 days. We got one more spot. And if you want to roll, go to Donfo, DANFO.Africa to learn more. Let's see here. What else? Nigeria. We're rolling to Nigeria in August 11th to the 20th. So interested in joining us in Nigeria for the Oshun Festival. All right, so guys, with African ancestry, they do it by tribe. So, as long as your results come back and it links your tribe to Sierra Leone, you're good to go. Again, and with African ancestry, it's done by tribe. So there's really no percentage. It's done by tribe. As long as your certificate says, I don't have mine with me. This is someone else's. I don't want to share it. You know what? I'll cover the person's name. Hold on one second. Let me cover their name. All right, so you have this right here, African ancestry. All right, and hold on, let me cover his name up because it's none of y'all business. And it says, hold on one second. Here we go. I'll fold it that way. Hold on. So I just don't, want to put nobody's personal business out there. So again, look, I don't want to show it, but here we go. That's easier. Hold on, we'll just do it like this. Okay, that's better. I don't want to show his business. So here we go. Oh, name all in there. But guys, this is hold on. I just don't want to show his because it's his personal business. So I don't want to show it. But let me find a picture of mine. Hold on one second. I got a picture of mine somewhere. Give me 1 second, you guys. On my phone. There you go. Here's mine. That's mine right there. Hopefully you guys can see that. There we go. Bam. Dynasty Mir, Mende people living in Sierra Leone. So that's mine. So this is what you have to have, okay? As long as you have a tribe and it's linked to Sierra Leone, as long as the tribe is linked to Sierra Leone, you're eligible for citizenship. Again, as long as the tribe is linked back to Sierra Leone, you're eligible for citizenship. So I'm taking, and it has to be your certificate. Again, it can't be, my uncle or my mama or my brother, my sister. It has to be your, but as long as one of the tribes is linked to Sierra Leone, you're good. So on that African ancestry DNA test, the results, As long as one of the tribes, at least one, is linked to Sierra Leone, you're good to go. Doesn't matter. So, I'm personally taking a group uh, in 10 days to Sierra Leone, and we're gonna have a great time. We have a tour set up, and you have a citizenship ceremony. They're gonna receive their passports, their Sierra Leone passports. So yeah, so we're gonna have an awesome time. So I have one more spot remaining. If you want to roll, or even if you're not eligible for citizenship, you just want to come, go to Danfo, 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 DANFO .Africa. Again, Danfo, DANFO .Africa. Let's go ahead and jump into it. And so Nigeria in August, then we're doing Senegal in October, Sierra Leone again in November, early December, and then we're doing Benin Republic in January. And in between time, if you want to go, if you're interested in visiting Africa by yourself, we do bespoke tours as well. All you have to do is go to Africa, click on travel, then you'll have the different countries that we're offering tours to. So hit me up, let me know. So let's jump right into it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat room. Again, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. Reality, you can come to Nigeria with us in August. You can come to Nigeria with us in August. Give me Yeah, Abundance 369. I don't know when black men will learn nothing good comes from hate but murder. He attracted this. What are you talking about? See, you guys don't have that same energy for Lauren. What's her name? Lauren Fields. Lauren Fields. Yeah, so you guys don't have that same energy for her. Abundance 369. But come roll with us to Nigeria in August. We're gonna have a great time, guys. On the site, you'll have the different playlists, so you guys can actually see what we do as far as the activities. And also on YouTube are the playlists for the different countries that we visit. So we're growing, we're expanding. We're in about 8 countries now. Before the year is over, I want to expand it to about 14. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna get into that. We're gonna get into that. The brother that got killed by the Snow Queen, and what's her name? What's this lady's name? Hold on one second. Abundance 369. I don't know when black men will learn nothing good comes from hate but murder. He attracted this. So let's apply that to Lauren Edmund Fields, whatever her name is. Let's apply that to her. So you guys aren't going to do that. So, anyways, all right. So first, in fact, listen, links in the chat room. I want somebody to call in and tell me how the cannabis or weed industry, whatever you want to call it, how black people have won and how weed and cannabis has been a win for the black community as a whole. I want somebody to call in. I want somebody to call in how all these HMO or GMO, whatever you want to call it, manufactured purple perp, space perp, turkey perp, all this perp. I want you to explain how it benefits the black community. Like, how high do you have to get? How high do you have to get? That's the point I don't understand. Like, we have people coming out with all these different strands of weed. And listen, if that's your thing, go ahead. I mean, go ahead. Like, if you want to get high, do your thing. But like, how high do you gotta get? Like, we went from just regular weed to purple purple. She did Abundance 369. She did, and I'm gonna show it to you. We went to okay, but listen, Lauren Fields did the same thing. And we're gonna get to that in a second. I'm just trying to understand, like, somebody prove to me, show me the proof how the black community has won or is winning, I guess, with this weed in the cannabis industry, just in general. And I tell this story all the time. When I lived in Los Angeles, California, and I did sales, so we would sell the like the coats, the lab coats. We would sell the lab coats. Or Azurite, you could call in, but your connection Azurite better be on point. It better be on point, Azurite. Your connection better be on point. You know, your connection be kind of off. Your Getro out there in Nevada. I see you. Your Getro be off. So I actually sell the lab coats to the different dispensaries. And I promise you, every time I would pull up to these dispensaries in LA, it would be us hanging out in the front, looking like straight J's. J stands for junkie. Now, the actual dispensaries are all ran by white people and Armenians, which is the same. But we would be in the front looking like straight junkies, like zombies. So I'm just trying to figure out how it's a win. So I want to jump into this article real quick. Okay, as a Jomo, you're a doctor? Like Jomo, you're a doctor, like you're a doctor. I mean, listen, for medicinal purposes, I get it. But some of y'all ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all just want to be high all the time. Ain't nothing wrong with y'all. Y'all just want to be high. It's like wanting to be high. Some people just want to be drunk all the time. Like all of y'all ain't hurt. All y'all don't have cataracts. You know, like, come on. There's a difference. Here we go. There's a difference between using it for medicinal purposes and just straight abuse and getting high. That's what I'm talking about. So let's jump into this article. Some claim the effects of racism requires them to smoke weed. I've heard people say that. All right, article. Here we go. Bam. Finally. I said the same thing. I said the same thing about alcohol, Mufasa. Oh, Mufasa, I need you to call in because you actually had a weed shop, Mufasa. Go ahead and call in. All right, here we go. How Nigerian student in UK died after eating cannabis sweets bought from messaging app. I mean, what just happened just smoking some weed? You know, y'all would be see, this is the part I don't understand. Y'all would be vegan, vegetarian, talk about how you can't eat processed meat. You can't eat processed meat, GMO foods, but y'all will smoke the hell out of some GMO processed weed. That's the part I don't understand. You would be a whole vegan, a whole vegetarian, talk about you can't eat processed meats. You know, you a raw vegan, but will smoke the hell out of some GMO super perp manufactured weed. That's the part I don't get. That's the part I don't understand. You smoke the hell out of some laced GMO tweed. Hold on. How Nigerian student in UK died after eating cannabis sweets bought from messaging app. Goodness. Reports of a Nigerian-born student, beautiful girl too, beautiful, gorgeous. Reports of a Nigerian-born student who died in the United Kingdom after eating cannabis sweets she bought from a messaging app have gone viral. The student, 23, identified as Damilola Grace Olakanmi, was a business law undergraduate at the University of Hertfordshire. She was said to have bought the gummies via a messaging app on her phone and they were delivered to her home. According to reports, Olakanmi and a 21-year-old friend immediately fell ill at their home in South Park Drive, Ilford at 11:30 p.m. on March 29th. According to Evening Standard, the pair ate sweets that came in packaging branded Trilly Peachy O's. Okay. Olakami was taken by air ambulance to Queens Hospital, Romford, in a critical condition. It was gathered that doctors later discharged Olakami's friend, who happens to be a student from the United States visiting the UK, from the hospital. Richard Taylor, a justice campaigner, a relative, consoled Wumi, the student's mother, who kept a vigil by her daughter's bedside as she fought for her life in the East London hospital where she died on Saturday. Wumi has lost her only child. She has nothing now. They had to hold her up because she broke down every time a friend came to the house to give support, Taylor said. It's a tragic warning to all young people about how they live their lives. They should resist drugs. Damilola was a promising young woman who should be looking forward to her future and having children of her own. She was studying law. There we go. Okay, Azariah, go ahead. Mufasa, Azariah, go ahead.
What's
Go
up,
ahead.
y'all? All
What's
right,
up?
so I just want to say first and foremost, can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. Your Getro is working today.
Can you hear me,
It's
Donis?
not freezing up. I hear you.
Okay,
It's
I'm
not
just making
freezing
sure
up.
you can hear me.
I hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
This thing delay. Okay.
So your
All right.
Getro acting up again.
All right. So basically, I just want to say I give my condolences to this lady because this is unfortunate that this happened to her.
Hello.
I
I don't
also
know what's going on. Hold
it's
on.
just been cannabis. Like it had to have been more because I've never encountered and I've done a lot of research where cannabis.
That's right. We losing you, sister. Listen, I'm gonna mute you so you get your stuff together. We're gonna let Mufasa roll. All right, Mufasa, go ahead and mute yourself. Mufasa,
All right, no, I'm here. My bad. Yeah, no,
go ahead.
yeah, so yeah, like you mentioned, I sold cannabis. I was in the cannabis industry for like probably like 7 years or something like that. Had different like we have four different physical locations. One of them fully medically and recreationally legal, right? And I did it like I said for years. I sold more weed than people you'll ever even hear about. Trust me. I ain't never heard of nobody dying from nothing. No weed. I've never heard of any weed killing anyone in any type of way. Now I will say, when it comes to these edibles, right? When you're getting these edibles done by amateurs who don't understand the dosing amounts, if you eat a edible that's infused with too high of a concentration, it always messes people up. Like even people I know who are very heavy weed smokers, if they eat an edible that
See, what's wrong with y'all Getros today? All right, Azariah. So your Obama phone and Mufasa Obama phone is just acting up.
It's not her getro, it's your thing.
No, that's you. No, don't pin that on me. It's you. All right, go ahead, Azariah. Go ahead with your Bama weed. Go ahead.
Oh my gosh. I mean, your friend having issues too, though. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, both of y'all. And what do y'all got in
All
common?
right.
What do y'all got in common? See, God is letting you know, stay away from the tweeds. Okay, here goes Mufasa. All right, here goes Mufasa.
Okay.
All right, Mufasa, go ahead. Unmute yourself, Mufasa. Oh, see, y'all
No, I
both got
said how.
Obama phone.
Yeah, I said how much of that did you get?
I didn't hear none of it. Yeah, you had dropped off, and then your phone was off. But go ahead.
Okay. No, what I was
I,
saying
I,
is
I
that
got you at the. I got you at the. You dropped off at the. Your friends who smoke a lot of weed, even if they eat edibles that have too much concentration, that it messes them up. Then you dropped off.
yeah, exactly. But like I said, you get that. I did it for like 7 years or 8 years or something, and then the funny thing, number one, I don't even smoke. I tried one time in college. I don't smoke personally, but I'm saying weed.
Well,
I
Mufasa,
sold.
that's how you can't get high on your own supply. So you
Yeah,
smart.
yeah, yeah.
That's rule number one.
Yeah, I don't smoke personally, but I sold all types of weed. I'm telling you, weed is not about to kill nobody. But those heavily dosed edibles from people who don't know what they're doing, right? And they don't know how to dose it properly. Or if you take too much edibles, right, of this concentrated, infused products, if you take too much of them, they will sit you down for a day or two really bad. Like if you take too much, even if you're a heavy smoker with a high tolerance. So you have to be careful where you're getting your infused cannabis products from. But aside from that, I've never heard of cannabis killing anybody or anything like that. I've never heard of that. Alcohol,
Right,
yes,
right,
but
right.
not cannabis.
Right, right. No, and I get that part, but Mufasa, why there's so many different GMO, lab made in a lab, different forms of weed? That's the shit I don't understand, Mufasa.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
how
yeah.
high do you have to just smoke crack? Like some of the stuff I'm seeing is like just go freebase. Like go freebase. Go smoke some crack. Like some
I
of the
mean, I
stuff
got to
I
give
be
it to
seeing.
you on that. But I will say there's a lot of people because we had organic farm, the organic outdoor farm, but they were so good, people thought it was like indoor and it wasn't. You know what I'm saying? And people preferred to smoke that. So it's a lot of people that do want to smoke that, but in the end of the day, so many people are using these GMO and then these popular strains and stuff come out. So that's just kind of the way the game is. Like if you want, say I want to get a certain popular strain, like, it's not popular now, but like if I want Gorilla Glue #4 or Oreo cookies or whatever strain it is, these strains are GMO in there. The reason they became that strain, like, so they'll take two separate strains and mix them together, which is GMO in and of itself. And then they'll mix these strains and alter them. And then at a certain point, all the strongest and most popular strains are GMO. You see what I'm saying? So it's kind of like that's the game at this point. You have some people who do organic stuff, or they avoid these things, but the issue with that is how do you prove it? Like people will go on there. I could say, hey, all my weed is organic. It's not like there's no commission to prove what I'm saying. There's no way to prove it. So that's just the game now.
Yeah, that's crazy, Mufasa. It's just like I said, when I was in LA, man, it's just we would just be in front of these dispensaries, just looking, just I'm like, what the hell are they smoking? Crack? Like, what are they
Okay, I'm
smoking?
glad you said
The
that.
way they look, it's like there's no way they're just smoking weed. The way they
No,
just
no, I'm
be
glad. I'm
out.
glad you said that, Dynas, because I remember you and Pan Africanism Strike Back talking about that. I remember you was talking about how you used to go and you see these places in LA. Now I've sold to a lot of these places in LA too. I've been doing like the same job you was doing. I was doing that for weed. You see what I'm saying? So
Mm-hmm.
I went to a
Right.
lot of dispensaries in LA, and I seen these people too. But what I wanted to jump on that day and say, bro, a lot of these people is smoking crack and doing pills and all that stuff. They are doing that shit. I'm telling you, they smoking weed, yes, but they're doing that extra stuff too. So those people that you see that look like that are on them other drugs. Trust me.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes sense.
Yeah,
Azurite, is
because
your Obama phone working? Your Metro working? Azurite, your Getro? Oh, let me unmute him. Azurite, go ahead.
I don't know. I'm trying to get this thing to work.
Okay, we hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Can
We
y'all
hear
hear
you. We
me?
hear you, Azurite. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Is it working?
We hear you. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, I don't know what's wrong with her phone. So Mufasa, basically what you're saying is say no to edibles. Well, Azurite makes edibles though, I think.
no. Edible. Okay, this is the thing. Edibles.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
if you buy legally in a shop, right? There's gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
dosing limit. right? And we can only sell you in California, like for instance, in California, I can only sell you up to an ounce a day, right? And then I can only sell you up to 1 concentrated gram of cannabis dosing per day. Well, don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. I've been out the business for like a year or something now, but I think it's a gram. It may have changed or whatever the case. And if you stay within that or go maybe a little over it, you'll be fine. But what people do, Dinus, is they figure like, look, I smoke weed every day. I don't do edibles. So how much is one? How much I need to get high? They'd be like, oh, just take 1 brownie. They'd be like, fuck you, give me 5. And then they'll be out of commission for 2 days. You see what I'm saying? So don't play with the edibles. You can smoke weed. No, I'm dead serious. They would not be able to, like I had one of my workers, dude smoked all my product. He was like my number one person to test, I don't smoke it, so he'd be like the number one person to test everything. He'll buy everything. And we had got a gang of edibles and I wanted to try a different vendor. He took that shit. He couldn't even come into work the next day because he took so much. So don't be careful on the edibles. I'm not saying don't take them. You could take them. Be careful on them. But just because you could smoke the weed don't mean you could do the edibles. And then on the I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, and then I was just gonna say that too. Yeah, when you say, I'm telling you, Don, it's like I'm not gonna put, because people was working with me and different stuff. I don't hang around people who like do drugs, so I don't know about all this stuff. But when I'm working with certain people, they doing all these psychedelics, they popping these pills, all this different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So when you seeing people that look like that, trust me. See, for you don't know what it's like because you don't hang around people that do drugs. I'm assuming. Yeah, so you thinking, these people say what?
Yeah, I don't at all know.
Same with me. So, but when I'm in this industry and I'm seeing different people and people saying different stuff, and I'm like, okay, some of these dudes is crackheads and they smoking weed.
Like I remember one time I was in college, man, and I remember this like my freshman year, and I saw people snorting cocaine. That freaked that I'm like, people really do that, and I'm like, people really do that in real life, not just in movies. Like they was really snorting that shit. I said, oh man, I'm like, people really snort dope in real life. I thought it was just on the movies. Like, no way, nobody's putting that shit up in those. Yeah, they was straight snorting. Bro, and I said, I gotta get up out of here.
No, look. When I first came in, the first year I went to college, I went to the University of Alabama for a year in the summer, right? Before I left. And that was the first time I seen people actually snorting cocaine, right? So I left there after like a year and some change, and then I came back, and some people I knew was snorting cocaine. And it was so bad, I was like, bro, I can't sit in front of you guys and watch y'all do cocaine. I'm sorry. Y'all got to call me back when y'all done. I can't do it. You know what I'm saying? But apparently that's how people is getting down now.
Yeah, that was the first and last time I ever saw that stuff, man. That was a whole nother level. Like I seen people smoke weed, of course, but that right there, that cocaine shit, that scarred me. I'm like, man, people really do this shit. Yeah.
Man, I don't know. And that's what.
Now go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, that separated me from a lot of people. You know what I mean? Because it's like you from Cali, like I'm from Cali, so since a certain age, bro, everybody was selling weed in the quad at high school, even middle school. Everybody was smoking weed in cars or whatever. You just kind of had to deal with it. I never did it, but I was around it. But to be around some coke and all this other shit they doing, I couldn't do it. I just can't do. Or excuse my language, but yeah, I couldn't do it.
That's all good. Guys, hit the like button. Link is in the chat room. Again, link is in the chat room. If you'd like to call in, please click on that link. But yeah, rest in peace to the young sister. It's unfortunate to go. I mean, so it had to be laced. So, Mufasa, you think it was laced with something, or like, what do you think was wrong with the gummy shit?
I was trying to connect. I didn't get what are they saying that it was just the edible? Is that what they're saying? I didn't get the story. I missed the story while I was trying to call in.
Yeah. So she ate some gummies. So her and her friend ordered some gummies online or through somebody. And I said she said she was said to have bought the gummies via a messaging app on her phone, and they were delivered to her home. So her and her friend bought it. Both of them got sick. Her friend survived. She died.
And then and is that all there? What's the cause of death? Did they say heart or?
No, they didn't say. They didn't say
Okay.
they didn't say heart attack or anything like that. No, they didn't.
Yeah, then I would say it had to be something like that. Now here's the thing: when you guys are buying weed, I'm gonna be real with you, right? So this is the way the cannabis industry works. I don't know the state you're in or whatever, but a lot of places that you guys are buying from are unlicensed, right? Now there's been instances where you could sell cannabis in an unlicensed shop. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. We're here. We're here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, my bad. Yeah, so you're like you could sell cannabis in an unlicensed shop, right? For months or even years, right? There's certain instances where, say for instance, you'll get into a spot, the city may send you a letter or whatever, right? Like some type of injunction or just some type of citation. Then they'll allow you to work and work and work. You make money, and then they'll just basically add up this balance that you have, and then serve you with the balance, right? They'll do a raid, take what you have, and then tell you, oh, you can either pay this balance or you can continue to operate. And some people are paying fees and continue to operate, but they're not legally licensed. Like, I'll give you an example. When we were totally licensed, they control and account for every single piece of weed, every edible, every single thing that you have has its own serial number and has to be accounted for, right? And you have to have software that plugs directly into the state's tracking. The state's tracking software is called Metric. Your software has to your front end software that you sell and give receipts and everything has to connect directly into Metric. So every single thing you do is accounted for, right? When you're buying from an unlicensed place, none of that is happening. So this is literally people just making edibles in their kitchen, literally making edibles in their kitchen. I've went to people's house, right? Popular brands that you wouldn't even know. Like I forget the name. I ain't gonna put nobody on blast, but like we literally drive to their house, pay them, collect the things, and then go there. But because the branding and everything is so neat, you don't know that there's nothing official about it. They just made it. You understand? So you don't know what you're buying when you're buying these things. And even from these licensed shops, a licensed shop could just put some unlicensed stuff in there too. If they're not caught, who knows? You see what I'm saying? So when you're buying this stuff, you just have to keep that stuff in mind. So you don't know what you're buying. You really don't. If somebody's shady or you can't trust them, they could be having anything in this especially in the edibles, or not know what they're doing when they're making the edibles. You get what I'm saying?
So Mufasa, is there money in the cannabis industry? Because I heard the taxes in California are out of control. Like, is there any money in that?
That's what
Is there
drove
money
me
in
out of it. That's what drove me out of it. The taxes and everything, man, they just take the fun out of it. But yes, there's money. You have to be vertically integrated, right? So if you want to do just only retail, you need a lot of retail stores because your margin will be low, right? But what you need is to be vertically integrated. So you have to cultivate, package it, and retail. You have to out of cultivation, right? Packaging and marketing, and then transportation and retail, you have to have at least three of those four steps. If you have a few of those steps, it'll help you. Like, I'll give you an example. When we would buy product, the tax is so heavy, right? And then here's the thing. The people who are growing the weed have to price it at a certain amount, and then for them to make money, right? So when they price it at the amount that they price it, we have to pay taxes on that amount. And it's the higher the price because it's an excise tax. Hopefully I'm not going too deep, but basically the higher we pay for it, the more money we pay in taxes. But say we're growing it ourselves, we can sell it to ourselves at a low price. Does that make sense? You there, Dennis?
I'm here. It makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah. So if you're growing it, you can sell it to yourself at a low price, and then you save money on that. So you save a lot of money on taxes if you grow it yourself. So yeah, there's money in it, but you have to be vertically integrated. So you need capital basically, and then it's tough to get licenses. It's very tough to get licenses. Like I'm from San Diego. We had to go way up to Coachella Valley, like up by Palm Springs, to get that license. And then it's like
Man,
I'm
for
out of
real, way
Palm
up there.
Springs. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I moved to Palm Springs. Our spot it was outside of Palm Springs in a place called Desert Hot Springs. But I basically I
Mhm.
moved up there because I'm managing it, and my daughter's in San Diego. I have to drive 2 hours to get her, and I'm just kind of out of way. It's 120 degrees. I just didn't want to do that no more. So we sold, and then we got all these taxes. It was this tough, and regulations. It's just overregulated, man.
Yeah, man. Gas them up. Go ahead.
Yeah, man. I just don't know why she's eating cannabis and all this weed stuff in the first place.
Well, but like in a lot of these law students and medical students, that's what they do.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I think
All right.
people. Yeah, go ahead.
Do you say the same thing about alcohol and beer and all that? Do you say the same thing about that?
I personally don't touch any of it. So
But do
that's
you
just me.
go to
That's just.
people and say, "Why are you drinking?" and all that? Do you say that?
Do I go to them?
Yeah, like if somebody talking about having a drink, if we were talking about drinking Origin, like I've seen Diners do on this show,
Yeah, that's
drinking
diners.
Origin and drinking that. No, but I'm saying, do people call in and say, "Wait a minute, why are you drinking? Why are you doing all this
No,
drinking?"
no, no.
Okay.
No. So okay. Here we go. I'm not saying you can't smoke. It's just the level and the abuse of the weed is the problem. Like if you want to roll up a joint once in a while, that's fine. But it's just what confuses me is just the I would say the culture behind it, like the different strains, purple, super purple, purple, perp. Like I just smoke crack,
I just saw
But
some
hey,
stuff
man,
where Snoop Dogg was saying this thing called moon rocks, and he said, "Man, that stuff is even too strong for me." And at a certain point,
Moon
it's just
rocks is
like,
crazy, bro.
I don't
Okay,
know.
you
I'm
know
just
what? I'm
saying,
gonna tell you
if
what moon
Snoop
rocks
Dogg
is.
is saying that he doesn't want to mess with it, then again, I don't know why people are still putting this stuff in their body.
Yeah, moon rocks are actually started by the artist Corrupt. I don't know if y'all know Corrupt moon rocks. He started it, but it's like keef, then it's powder, then it's like five different, and then wax. It's like five different cannabis concentrates all mixed into one thing, and then you smoke. I mean, that's not even smoking weed
that's
anymore at
too
that
much.
point, bro. That's
I'm saying that's just too
that's like
much.
something
I
else.
mean, I don't get that.
Yeah,
That's too much.
and then you need a pipe to do it. It's certain ones where you got to take the wax, put it on a little thing, and you got to smoke. It's like it's like it's not really weed no more. It ain't really the same no more.
Hey,
Like I said, man, I just
once
don't
again,
know why.
gas money.
Yeah,
Hey, Mufasa. So when I first moved to LA, there used to be like this Iranian lady, right? And she had billboards everywhere. And I guess she could write the prescriptions. Is she still popular? Like she was billboards everywhere. She was a
You
doctor.
said she was writing prescriptions.
Well, because I
That
guess
that
back
was
back.
that was a common hustle. That's still going on. So I could explain that. Basically, it was so in 19 weed has been legal in California since 1994, but you have to the technicality is that you have to have a medicinal reason, and then you have to be a part of a quote unquote collective, right? So we had to have everybody who bought from us back then. It's different now when we had a license, a few years ago or whatever the case. But like back like 8 years, like back in 2010 or more than 8 years, damn, like 10, 12 years ago when you used to do it, you would have people fill out that they're a part of your collective, and then they just go to some doctor that you don't even see the doctor. It's just basically a little hustle, like, push some paperwork, fill out, say my knee hurt, and then you get a thing. So that was just easy money for those doctors. There was a lot of doctors didn't even have to show up, and they would just clock off of that.
I'm talking about this lady had billboards everywhere when I was in LA. Everywhere, Iranian lady. I'm sure she was making a killing. She had sponsors in Hollywood. She had offices everywhere, just writing people's prescriptions to go smoke.
yeah. I
Easy
mean,
money.
listen. I think more power to him. It's interesting though. Like I was watching a Mike Milken, um, broadcast a while ago, and they were talking about like these it's just interesting, like this whole drug thing. I mean, I'm not gonna act holier than that. Like I never smoked when I was young and all that stuff. But out here on the East Coast, they have this thing called purple haze, and I did it, and I was high as a kite, and I said, not for me. It's just I'd like to control my body and control my senses. Like I just don't see the what is it, being a stoner, being stoned. I mean, hey, more power to them, but it does tell that like you said, Dennis, these lawyers and these medical students feeling extremely overwhelmed and stressed out to the point that they are engaging in these things. And now look at this young lady who loses her life. Perhaps maybe she should find a better source. If that's what you're going to do, you got to find a way to source it. I remember back in the day on the East Coast of New York. I mean, some of these guys would sprinkle angel dust in the weed that they sold to you and turn you to a dust head, right? So I don't know. It's just it's crazy and it's scary, But I remember growing up, and I end with this. I remember growing up historically, and I'm not saying that people didn't quote unquote smoke, but especially from the Nigerian thing, like that's why Phil was seen as such a rebel. Like you wouldn't see the children who were studying to be lawyers and doctors touch that stuff. Which now, like I talked to my the younger ones, they're all into it. And I'm just like, that's an interesting paradigm shift that's occurred.
Like I said, I've thought about it, man. But in the end of the day, like I said, it's something for recreation. People are going to do it anyway. But I agree that you shouldn't abuse it, but you shouldn't abuse anything. Some people are trying to use cannabis to basically escape from their problems. You know what I mean? Stay high, stay doing something. But that could kind of go for anything. Like it could go for like you sitting playing video games all day. Playing some like these deep RPGs, or you just going into some different reality to escape from your reality. You see what I mean? So you shouldn't abuse anything. But I don't really have an issue. That's one thing. Not to go back into Nigeria, but I don't know if you know the presidential candidate. I don't think he'll win, but Showray is talking about. He's been talking about bringing cannabis into Nigeria because people are going to smoke it anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, sure is he's an interesting guy. I have no beef with him. I'm not for. I'm not against him. I'm actually anti-state. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, go ahead, Fit Warrior. Go ahead, Fit Warrior. Go ahead.
Peace. Yeah, I looked up the story, and it's synthetic cannabis, which is not it's not from the
Yeah,
plant.
that will kill you.
So it's basically what they call spice. That's what killer. So it has nothing to do with the plant. Basically, that's something that they synthesize from chemicals in a lab, and I guess it affects your cannabinoid receptors, but it's not from the plant. Like it has absolutely nothing to do with the plant, basically.
Okay, now that makes sense because spice will kill you for sure.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm telling you, cannabis won't kill you, bro. I knew. That's why I said I knew there was something with this story. I believe that. I haven't read it yet, but I'm sure it's something like that.
yeah, if you look up at BBC and Guardian, they got a more detailed description of the whole thing. So all the articles is saying cannabis, and people just assume but it's actually synthetic stuff. It's spice.
So going on that.
No,
Okay.
but but the thing is, what they're doing to the weed now might as well be synthetic, like Mufasa said. Like, what is wax? So wax on a weed, this on a weed. Like I saw this somebody posted on Facebook. It was like an edible, and it was like purple and had this wax on it, and it's called super wax or something wild, something crazy. So by the time they get to doing everything to it, it might as well be synthetic. I mean, am I wrong, Mufasa?
No. You're wrong. Just because synthetic it can like actually kill you. It actually, you get what I'm
Yeah, but
saying?
yeah,
That's
exactly.
really the
It
only
kill
thing.
you though.
Yeah, that can kill you. So that's the only reason I would say no. But I agree with you, Dinus, but I just don't agree with that part because spice will kill you. Don't do spice.
See, but you're saying that, right? Like the spice will kill you. I mean, at least when you go to the grocery store, General Mills has the decency to put high fructose corn syrup on the label, so that'll kill you too, right? These so-called new age weed dispensaries and this stuff that they're promoting, especially to the youth, are they telling them that, hey, there's a difference between the synthetic stuff and this this and the original stuff? You know, are there like
I'm not sure.
labels for it?
I've never sold spice. I don't know too much about that. We don't really do that in Cali because you could just buy the real thing. That's typically spices for places where it's illegal and people. You get what I mean? People will use that in the place of cannabis. So I don't know too much about spice.
Yeah,
Honestly.
spice is basically to get around the law because
Right.
it's legal. You know what I mean? So if you're not using the plant, you can basically buy it.
Yeah, it's just interesting how this stuff is being pushed now. It's very interesting. There's a great book I remember reading. I think the title was "I Spy with My Science Eye," and it talked about how the CIA was bringing all these houses with LSD and all these drugs, and during the so-called counter revolution, and then eventually there was one drug house where literally people thought it was like a drug house, but behind the wall they were actually observing the effects of these drugs on people. So it just kind of tells me again, may she rest in peace. But like I said, 30 years ago, and I'm not saying that Africans or Nigerians were perfect, you wouldn't have heard that a Nigerian student in law or medicine would be smoking, let alone dying of an overdose from that stuff. It just shows you the times have changed.
I mean, the thing, because like I said, me being mixed in the middle of the industry, it just made me think about a lot of things. That a lot of things y'all taking for granted, y'all just buying weed. Like, you really don't know what be going on behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how many times, first of all, people take one strain, be like, hey, everybody buying King Louis right now, so every weed thing, we just gonna write King Louis on it, and people gonna buy it. Then you gonna go on your Instagram and say, yeah, I got whatever, but you don't know what it is. People are just writing that. And then there's been times where, like, say we may have a lot, and then by the time I grab something before I send it out, it got some funny smell or something don't look right. You know what I'm saying? And because we got morals and ethics, we gonna just take the loss on it and throw it away. You know what I'm saying? But you think everybody's doing that? There might be something wrong with your stuff. I done got stuff that it smelled like it had some weird type of smell, like somebody sprayed it with something. You know what I'm saying? But like sometimes when you're buying in bulk, you don't check everything, and then you may have some different things. There's something wrong with it, but you don't know what really is going on with this weed sometimes. So I would say keep in mind that, like, you can grow your own weed. You see what I'm saying? Figure out how you can grow your own weed. You can grow it, put little things together. Groups of people can grow at your own house. You can make your own gummies, right? You can make your own cannabis butter. You can do these things where you understand what it is you're doing. Just keep in mind, you should be trustworthy of the people that you're buying from, because anything can be happening with some of the stuff you're buying. Trust me, I've seen it.
Is there any way to, like, for example, like, and it might sound like a crazy question, but just like in Nigeria, for example, because of the water supply, right? Like I purchased a distiller, right? I have two
Mhm.
distillers in my house in Nigeria, right? And I distill the water. So is there any way, other than growing your own weed, is there any, like, some sort of I don't know, marijuana tester, kind of like a diamond
Yeah, yeah,
tester? It
yeah.
sounds like a crazy question, but is there any
Oh,
type
no,
of
no, 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 no,
marijuana
no.
tester to
That's
test like
right.
potency to make sure it's
Yeah,
safe,
no,
and
no,
to
no.
check, some chemical you can drop on it and see, all right, if it turns red, then I know that, hey, I'm not touching this marijuana. But if it turns like blue, all right, I can deal with it.
No, definitely. They definitely have that, and it's a normal thing. There, just look it up. There's places you could go, because we'll do it. Like, because like, what we'll do is people will go in terms of marketing. The percentage of THC is it pushes things in terms of marketing. So if I get something and it's 30% THC, I know as soon as I post that, it's gonna sell quick. So what we'll do, and what some of the consumers start asking for, is test results, right? Which that can even be fake too, but I ain't gonna go into that. But if you take it to the lab yourself every now and then, like if you got a plug, buy you a whatever small amount, an eighth or a quad or whatever, buy it, and then take it to get tested every now and then. Just check it, make sure it's cool, make sure it's what they say it is, right? And then you can kind of maybe build some trust, and then do something like that. But you absolutely can get your weed tested. I don't know about other places, but in U.S. or in California especially, you absolutely can get your weed tested, and you can buy from people with tested weed. But my only thing on the tested weed, like for instance, I'll give you an example. People usually will buy. You go to say you go to a website like Weed Maps or something, not to promote them, but like you go to a website where they advertise for vendors, right? They'll say, okay, you have to put the lab results, or they have somewhere where you put the lab results. So say for instance, I'm selling King Louis, right? And I could tell you, okay, I got this King Louis tested and it's such and such percent. Just because I got it tested and I put that lab results, that doesn't mean that's the nuggets that you're going to buy from me are the same nuggets as that lab result. You understand that?
No, it makes perfect sense. It makes sense,
Yeah.
but it just kind of always makes me, and that's why I'm very very fearful of it, because the end user is always at the mercy of for example, you're from what you're saying, man, like you're knowledgeable in this, right? And there's this thing in psychology called like the Dunning-Kruger effect. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, where like an amateur observes something and then attempts to do it because they think they observed it, that they too can replicate the same results. It's just a great way of overestimating our competency. So like, if I decide to ever become a weed smoker, I'm at the mercy of a person like you. So again, I'm not telling anyone not to smoke weed, whatever. If you want to smoke, hey, by all means, smoke your weed, drink your alcohol, take your Four Locos, whatever you want to do, that's great. But the end user is oftentimes at the mercy of the expert, and that's a very very scary position to be in, for me at least.
Yo, why the brother who was talking about he was in the cannabis industry? Why do you think more people just don't grow their own stuff? Like why is that another thing?
Well, it's just too much to do. Like people don't want to do all that. Basically, laziness. People don't. And also too, like I have a friend. He's about to start. And he's starting a nonprofit just to educate people on how to do it and give them the direction on it, because it just sounds like a daunting task. So people are intimidated by it. But I feel like if there was more education out there and an easier route to do it, I think they do it. But as it stands now, it's too daunting.
Oh, yo, and do you know which country has the most cannabis users in the world?
No, I don't know.
Yeah,
I would assume America, but I don't know.
you should look that up.
Let me ask you this question. What's the difference between, I don't know if you've ever been there, the Amsterdam scene, right? I don't know who's ever been to Europe. I've never been, but the Amsterdam scene in terms of like, they have their whole red light district and the weed over there. Like I hear a lot of the celebrities talk about like, man, when I went to Amsterdam, I got high off the stuff and I couldn't move and I almost died and all this other stuff. And like, compared to California, or if you've ever been exposed to any of that stuff in Europe?
I haven't. I can't speak from personal experience, but just from hearing and being in the industry or whatever. Basically, Amsterdam, like they can't necessarily grow the best stuff. You know what I mean? So the place like California is known for growing some of the best. Jamaica, and a couple other places. They have different things. So strains are created in different places and then aggregated. Right? They may take different seeds, different strains, and then they aggregate them in Amsterdam. You see what I'm saying? So in Amsterdam, you could pretty much go there and get some of everything, but it doesn't mean it's Amsterdam growers that are growing everything, if that makes sense. So they basically then put everything together. So you go to red light district, you're going to be able to get everything. So it could be from anywhere, right? Like it's a strain, I forget what it's called. It's called Malawi. I forget the strain, but there's a couple strains. There's like two strains. There's two African very popular strains, and I should know the name. I wish I knew the names. But they'll have those there, but they don't know that this came from growers in a different place. That's pretty much what Amsterdam is about from what I heard. Malawi Gold, yeah, but then there's another one. It's purple something. I can't remember what it is. There's another one from but yeah, that's all I really could say about that.
I want to ask you this question, like, because I'm again, I'll admit I'm a follower of Warren Buffett, right? Like whatever Warren Buffett, that whole value investing thing, like that's what I believe in, right? I think it works the best. So like in terms of investing in weed, because everyone says get the weed stocks and all that. And when I look at their balance sheets, I'm like, not my favorite cup of tea. But do you have like any sources or resources that one can look at where you can see the actual revenue streams, like real numbers that these weed dispensaries are what they're generating, to see if one can actually invest? And are you into that by any chance? Because I love to throw a little bit of bones that I get, some beans in my can, and throw it over there if it makes sense from a value investing perspective.
No, I don't know about that. So everyone I knew, and like I said, I dealt with people all up the state, and I've seen a lot. And everyone I knew, they were doing their thing privately. You get what I mean? Even the first people, because I know some of the early people who are licensed, they're all private companies. When you talk about these weed stocks and stuff like that, the people I know that was making real money, like real serious money, where you go to farms and you see weed stacked up, 10 feet on each side of a bunch of weed here, major farms and stuff like that. You can't look and see their numbers. So that weed stock thing, I never really got into that. You get what I mean? So I can't tell you too much about
No,
it.
I get what you, and that's why I never touched it, because I'm like, everyone was screaming, yeah, the weed stocks are going to be this big thing, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see their numbers, let's look at the revenue, let's look at the cost, let's see if there's profit, let's see what I hate that word, but EBITDA, let's see what that is, and you can't find anything. Danish, do you know of any resources?
Most of the things are from Canada. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I'm not into like cannabis and weed. Like I'm not. I don't see I just don't see. Okay, Mufasa, let me ask you this, because it's like once I guess cannabis was legal, or I don't know, they made it easier to grow or whatever. Mufasa, black people. Oh, I'm gonna get into it was like trending, and
Yeah,
it
too
just
many people
sounds
got
sexy.
in.
But for some reason, like I don't hear black people talking about the cannabis industry like they were like 8 years ago. And I'm gonna get me a weed shop, and I'm gonna do this, that, and the other. Like what happened?
There's actually people in cannabis. I ain't gonna front. There's a lot of people they don't like. Like for me, I was in it. Like I was telling everybody I did something else. You know what I'm saying? So there were people would be standing right next to me talking about, man, ain't no black people in cannabis, and I'm just like, you know what I mean? So you never know sometimes who's in it. Um, we don't have a lot of the licenses. It's a few here and there, but there's people in cannabis. I'll just put it like that. It's not as much as it should be, yeah, but it's people in it.
In the chat, somebody said they made money from something called Canada weed stocks. You heard of that, Mufasa?
Yeah, okay, that's where I was going a second ago. Because in Canada, it's more legalized, right? So they have large corporations. When the issue with cannabis in the United States is that it's federally illegal. So no real major corporations are going to touch it. So you have some corporations that'll take a chance, but that with it being federally illegal, that's what kind of makes things, it makes it iffy. Like we can't even get banks to hold our cannabis. We had to do a bunch of all kind of like weird workarounds, Like for
Wait, so the
instance,
banks won't hold your revenue from cannabis?
no.
Wow.
It was just a known for years. Just the way you'll do it. The way you'll do it is you register under some ambiguous thing, and then even sometimes you get seller's licenses. Or say for instance you need a license or something like that. You may register under something ambiguous for your bank, and then you go for a period of time, and then maybe the algorithms catch up, and then your account gets shut down. So you got to keep a certain amount or do it a certain way, right? Then there's all type of workarounds. There's like state credit unions and different things you can use. They charge these heavy amounts. There's different ways. You have like I give you an example. You have your ATMs in the thing. People can't pay with card. They use ATMs in the shops. And then we used to say when we would do deliveries, right? We have these little handheld ATMs that I had never heard of before. Someone pitched us the idea, and we found it. And basically, what it is it's a handheld ATM. So when we deliver you your weed, you put your card in, and then you put your PIN number in. So basically what you do is, say for instance, your product is $55. You'll use your ATM to pull out $60, and then we'll give you $5 change. So it's basically like a moving ATM. But this gives us a way to not use PayPal, Cash App, all these things. They'll kick you off if they figure out you're doing cannabis. Venmo, like we've done it. You know what I mean? So people, what you do is they'll just do it and just keep rotating, but it's with it being illegal federally, it just creates a lot of issues.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's a tough business, man. I wish you all the success in that, though. I hope it can get to a point where like investors can get in it.
I sold. I'm out. Yeah, we sold our legal spot. I'm out the business. And I want to move on. I did that for a long time.
Dynas, you got this article posted. Did you talk about it already?
No, I'm about to right now, actually. So this Nigerian cat got killed by his OnlyFans booty model, white chick, killed him. And guys, this listen, everyone. OnlyFans models, strippers are only supposed to be used for recreational uses only. Okay, just recreational use. You don't wife up no OnlyFans model and no strippers. Okay, men. Listen to me. You don't do that.
What about Cardi B?
No, I'm good. I'm straight.
No, I'm saying Offset has put a ring on her hand.
That's him. That's Offset. I'm not doing it. Not me. Not I. Just recreational. That's it. OnlyFans star 25 is arrested for stabbing boyfriend 27 to death during a domestic dispute in their luxury Miami high-rise. Model is now in mental ward after making suicidal threats. So basically, this right here, Snow Queen, killed this brother, and now she might get off. She might get off. Insanity. So yeah, so I think she stabbed him in their Miami high-rise, and now she might get off. That's that's unfortunate for the brother.
Yeah, man, may he rest in peace. My condolences to his family and everybody. I don't know him, but it's crazy.
Gas them up, like a Nigerian coming from a Nigerian man like this brings home a Snow Queen, then gets killed by that Snow Queen. How do you think the family is dealing with this? Gas them up.
They're probably in the prayer line right now. Let me not talk about him personally, but if it was someone like probably in the prayer line, I don't know if he's Muslim, if he's Muslim, they probably would have buried him, before, I believe, Friday. But yeah, it's look, unfortunately, man, a lot of us, still have that idea that white ice is colder. A lot of times, we could, and I'll be the first one. I'll come at the sisters, whether they African American sisters or the African sisters. I'll be the first one on their neck. But what I'm saying? I feel like, man, I feel bad for him because I think it's a self-hate thing, right? There's a lot of self-hatred for a lot of Africans who come to America or go to the UK. They're just waiting for their opportunity to entangle with whiteness. Like that Frantz Fanon, black skin, white mask, whole type of thing that occurs. Then also, I think it's also a crisis of masculinity because, if like this brother right here in his head, okay, he's probably successful, right? I want to be so-called successful, work hard and all that stuff. But I don't need a bad chick to validate me, man. Like, I'll be real, like, and don't get me wrong. Yes, I like a big booty chick too, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm out there in Nigeria with the beautiful girls and all that stuff, and then the beautiful Caribbean women. But at the end of the day, when I get successful, I'd rather take that money, the money he's using for that chick, he could have used that and fixed his village. Forget his village, right? If he hates his village, he could have used that and put some kids through school and did something that's meaningful, right? Like in Nigeria, they love to say this, Dan, and say, oh, he's a big boy. He's a big boy. And I'm like, yeah, he's a boy. Because men, we don't, real men, we're not thinking about it. We're thinking about uplifting and doing stuff for our community. And this part of masculinity, a lot of what we define as masculinity revolves around what makes women happy. That's why I always refer back to that book, right, by Chinwezu, because Chinwezu wrote all that Pan-African stuff, and even he, which I think that was the last book he wrote, was The Anatomy of Female Power. And he analyzed, the ways that women control men and manipulate them. And actually, I got his book, and that was where I got put onto Esther Villar's book, The Manipulated Man. And then I read her book first, and then I went and read Chinwezu's book, right? And it just highlights this way that masculinity is really defined by women, and men have not escaped that. Like, everything we do is defined by what makes a woman happy. So, like you heard to Niger yesterday, if you really break it down, a man's role is to protect. A man's role is to, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, no, dude, like, that's not a man's role. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, protect your family. I'm not saying just cower, but no, let's uplift our community, right? Let's build our community. Let's not be big boys anymore. Let's be men. So, this type of conversation, what do you think? Let me ask you, Dennis, if this conversation were having, what do you think this Nigerian brother would have told us if we had this conversation with him?
I mean, I don't know him, but I think, it's his preference. I mean, it's just his preference. He probably would have, I don't know, he's in love, and, I don't know, bro. I don't know. I don't know what was in his head, And then
I mean, I'm gonna keep it real. Typically, if somebody is dating somebody that's like OnlyFans or whatever the case, or like if you date a stripper, you're in a certain mindset yourself. You get what I mean? Typically, it's water seeking its own level. Even if he might be successful, he might be whatever, but like morally, where he is, he's probably on a similar level as her. So I don't think he would be really interested in it, because typically he's not going to be interested in a conversation about the community and all that stuff. You know what I mean? Typically, that's what you're going to get from a person in that situation. I don't know too much about their situation personally, but that's usually what it is.
Yeah, but I mean, you dating an OnlyFans model, like, I mean, that's what they be doing on OnlyFans. A lot of these girls be selling, what, for OnlyFans. So I wonder how you met her.
It depends. Yeah, I feel you.
Dude,
but it depends. It's like dudes that are date a stripper, dudes that, send prostitutes. It's a different type of mentality.
You guys know that, I forgot his name. He's the big dude. He lifts a lot of weights. Black dude. He's light skinned. I forgot his name. He lifts a lot of weights. He's real strong. Damn, I forgot his name. He's out there in Dubai right now.
I don't know him, no.
Damn, I can't remember homeboy's name. And Larry Wills, that's his name, right? Larry Wills, and I'm not dissing Larry Wills or nothing, whatever. I have no beef with the guy. And Larry Wills was on his video, and he's like, I just want to admit, I fell in love with a woman online, and we were having virtual, and I was spending thousands of dollars. And I'm sitting there like, yo, what's wrong with men today, man? Like,
bro, it goes on all the time. All the time. I was reading a story today. Nigerian girl in Nigeria dealing with a dude online. Never met him. Dude sends her 3 million naira. Like, happens all the time.
Bro, I talked to a girl in I was talking to a girl in Abuja that had a dude getting her money. She was dating a dude. He was another Nigerian dude. He lived in Ghana. She getting money from dudes. He's sending money to her. Or no, I'm sorry. She's sending the money to him and hasn't even met him, and he lives somewhere else. People be taking these online things real serious, bro.
Yeah, it you know what's funny? I don't think I've ever dated. I've never done that online thing. I'm just confused by it. Like, I know people, and I'm not knocking anybody, in the chat. Don't come for me.
But not to cut you off. I never did it either. Like, as far as like the Match.com and all that stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I can't do it.
I've done it. I'll say this, right? I've done it, but like, I have to meet you though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I can't send you money and all that. I don't even know who you are. I mean, I can't send you that much money when I know who you are, but I'm saying, for you to just have a purely online thing, and then you're not even trying to meet the person, or like all this time goes by, you're not meeting the person. I don't get that. But I mean,
I don't know, man. I for the ladies in the chat, man, no disrespect to y'all, but can we have can we present like a manly thing about this, right? Like, Dynast, is that macking when a dude is sitting down there sending millions of naira or dollars.
It's simping. It's simping. Mackin would be the other way around if the girl was sending him money. He's simping. I never, like I said, I never got that, understood that.
I mean, you know, it's probably coming from like some type of. It just sounds like low self-esteem, and then you know they just get on there, try to validate you, tell you what you want to hear, whatever the case, and then you know you just send money. But it's clearly a game around this, and I know money is being made because there's a whole system set up for it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, man, I have no beef with them, man. To the ladies who doing it, whatever, get your money. But I just think the mentality of a woman who is online. I mean, look, man, Pimp C, right? You know, Sweet Jones, God bless the dead. He said it best. You know what I'm saying? He said, what he say? He said, pimping ain't dead. It just moved to the web. Girl ain't got to sell her body, ain't got to give no tricks, no head. You know what I'm saying? Just cameras and pussies. The easiest money you can get is the American dream. You know what I'm saying? And so I'm just kind of confused, you know, at how guys are just on these online things. You see a profile and you just fall in love with this chick. I don't know, man. It just, I think there's a crisis of masculinity and no one talks about it.
Yeah. I mean, look. Okay, we could back up a couple steps. I'm surprised by OnlyFans. You could literally go on the internet and type in anything you want to see on Earth, and you will pay a chick to show you what's free. I can't get that.
Paid to show what's free.
I can't get that one.
Yeah, man. That brother is, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for him. You know what I'm saying? But now let's analyze look at her response. Dinah, she's saying, I'm crazy. She's playing the insane card.
No.
So,
Then I think immediately after she killed him, she went on her OnlyFans page and started, you know, doing something strange for a little bit of change immediately after.
yeah, it just shows again this lack of accountability. Because if it was the other way around, if a Nigerian man killed his white OnlyFans model, what would the headlines have read? And would they accept his insanity plea?
Of course not. Of course not.
Yeah, like I said, it's unfortunate that he died, but yeah, I mean,
well, I just saw in the chat they're saying he had tweets coming at black women. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, I'll be the first to come at, you know, sisters and be like, nah, y'all out of order. But like, you know, again, if he did have tweets coming at black women, I'm not saying he deserved to die. But at the same time, it's like, you know, you can't throw black women under the bus and generate that type of energy, you know, because at the end of the day, you know, they still our women. We got to deal with them as best as we can. So, you know, if some of them ain't right, you know, I've always said cut them loose. You know, like that's why personally I don't understand the whole Kevin Samuels thing, and I like what he does. Shout out to him, he's doing it. But it's like I don't understand why you're convincing women who don't want to follow the program to follow the program.
Well, I'll say this. I agree. If he should have been with a black woman or whatever the case. But like, remember, Steve McNair had the same thing happen to him. So this is not necessarily a racial thing. Like this is just, you know, you playing with these girls. They're a lot of fun, man. I've been there, bro. They're a lot of fun, and then all of a sudden it's a bunch of drama and all this stuff, and it's really not worth it, bro. You play stupid games, you win stupid prizes, and you know. I mean,
when you say it's a lot of fun in the drama, can you give me like a synopsis or like the timeline of how that drama plays out?
Okay, well, there's an old adage that crazy women got the best sex, right? And that's kind of how it is. So they meet you meet these girls, right? She's OnlyFans, so she probably look real good, so that draws you in, and then you're dealing with her. You know, you get the arm candy, and then she probably got a lot. She probably really good in bed, so you're having fun with this, but the chick is crazy. So there's all type of drama. There's all type of screaming. There's throwing shit, breaking things. You know, you having to yell. You having to do this, y'all breaking up. It probably was a mess. This is typically how it goes. And then you have good makeup sex, right? And her sex is good and she looks good. So you're just caught up in this whole thing, and it's all shallow. Low energy, low frequency type of experiences. And people get caught up in that. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's a great point. So I guess I want to ask both of y'all. So and you know, on my idea of this crisis of masculinity, like what should be our criteria when we're looking at, you know, to date or to sleep or whatever, because it's kind of like, you know, this like you said, this OnlyFans and you get the stripper or whatever, or this loose girl, you just said, you know, the crazy girls have the best sex, but it's like, if that's the case, what is it that the crazy girls are doing that the non-crazy girls aren't doing?
Well, number one, before we go there, number one, there's crazy girls that's just like regular girls. You feel what I mean? Like I had a chick, she worked a regular corporate job or whatever, but she was like crazy in a manic depressant way, and she had that same effect in terms of the like good and bad. But she's like really difficult to deal with. So you don't need an OnlyFans model or a prostitute or a stripper, you know what I mean, to have a crazy woman. So no, so we could start with the first rule: don't don't deal with women who sell their body in terms of like on an ongoing basis. Like you don't date a girl that sells her body. You see what I'm saying?
No, I agree with you 1,000,000%.
Right.
There's no, I don't think you can date her. I mean, you can deal with her. I don't know if you can date her.
Yeah. You deal with her, and then you go your way, she go hers. You don't keep a relationship of any type. See what I'm saying?
So I'm saying
Like I said, recreational purposes only, just for recreation. That's it.
but now, Dennis, let's keep it real. A lot of dudes end up in that recreational situation, and I've noticed, myself included, I'm a man, right? We all men. But women bank on that slippery slope because you entangle with this woman
true.
thinking it's recreational, and feelings get caught on both sides of the table. Like I've seen dude, not you. I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you. But I'm saying like, you know.
But what I'm agreeing with you.
No, go ahead, brother. Go ahead. I was talking to Dennis. Go ahead.
No, not me. I never, as far as like something like this, nah, I just straight recreational. No feelings, straight recreational.
When you say no feelings, like, is it possible to not have feelings? Because it feels good. What, you know what I'm saying? What's that song? I keep saying I don't love these hoes, but she make me feel good.
Nah, it's not that serious. Just straight recreational. That's it.
Okay, now that's you, but I'm saying most men may not be able to differentiate.
But
right,
men not. Most men can't. But this is.
I mean, you got to think of the embarrassment gassed them up. Like, and see, I zoom out. Now imagine I got this recreational piece, right? And I just like we're walking in public together. And the amount of men that I'll be looking like, oh, that's that OnlyFans model. That's that scripper. Oh man, all the whole football team ran through her. Like that's not a good feeling. Like I can't, like that's just not a good feeling. So that's why.
Now let me ask you a question, Dennis. What if she's bringing 100,000 a year to the table? Now
is she gonna give me the 100,000?
Yeah, she giving you the 100.
So she will give me the whole. She's gonna just give me $100,000.
You got it in pocket in the way she's structured. You got that. No, I'm not saying it's worth it to walk down the block with her, but I'm saying, is it worth it to engage a situation where it's like,
I'm gonna tell you why. No, I get what you're saying, but this is what I'm saying. I'm from San Diego. It was like a big. We got a documentary we're working on right now on the pimp whole epidemic that we had in my city, and a lot of that mentality was out there. And through watching all the women I went to school with become prostitutes, all the homies become pimps, I seen this, and I realized that it's not worth it. You get what I'm saying? So say for instance, she making that 100,000 and she's handing it over to you. It's not worth the headache that you going through. Like it's just going to be so much of a headache. Like she happened to shoot that dude, but before she shot him, do you know what the drama they was going through? Day to day, the struggle of like having to deal and manage with a person in the mind state that you have to be in to just turn off your feelings as a woman, turn off all that and just sell your body, or turn all that off and do OnlyFans. Like they can't, like a lot of these women, they make it sound glamorous, but a lot of these women are struggling. They got to abuse drugs, they got to abuse alcohol because they're trying to balance what they're doing, and what they're doing is wrong. So now you are collecting money, but you're putting yourself in a position where you have to take everything that she has to dump out to deal with what she's doing. You have to catch it and manage it. So that 100,000 you're gonna collect ain't free. it ain't worth it. And now your mind state is not in the right state. You get what I'm saying? That's gonna pull you down. So even if you
Hey,
can get money from it, get money in another way.
Mufasa
Nah,
just
well
said,
stated. Well
hold on,
stated.
Casper. Mufasa just said something. The 100K ain't free. I'm gonna give you a prime example, and this is on a small level. When I was in college, this girl I was messing with, she calls me up one day. Hey, Dennis, I want to take you shopping. I was like, all right, cool. So she takes me to the mall, the mall in Athens, Georgia. She takes me to Express, buys me shirt, pants, all types of stuff. This girl calls me back. I mean, like I would say after like a month, like 2 months, she calls me asking for money one day. I was like, hell no, I'm not giving you nothing. So now imagine this girl giving you 100K, the stuff she might be demanding from you. Shit, it's not
Right.
free.
Right, right. It's not, and then people got to remember too, because if you're making money from a woman who's selling her body, either stripping, OnlyFans, prostitution, or whatever the case, bro, that's you're putting yourself in a pimp role. And what happened was pimping got glorified in the 90s and 2000s with rap music and all these different things. But what people don't understand is like pimping came from the gutter. Pimping was something that marginalized people did that was from the streets, from a certain environment, and they did it. And they told you pimping ain't easy is like an old. Everybody knows that, right? So they
No, it's a
know,
fact. Yeah.
yeah, they know what they doing is not hard, it's not glorious, and all of that. But people want to do it, but really, that's not for you. You know what I'm saying? You shouldn't want to do that. Even them, a pimp don't want his son to do it too, unless he's mentally twisted. So yeah, that ain't. It sound good, but trust me, that's not what you want.
No, no, one, like I agree with you 1,000,000%. I'm just saying that, like, I think if a dude decides to, because some of these people are gonna be hard headed, like, and again, not everybody's gonna have that ability for differentiation like Dynast has, right? And if a dude, that's the only thing I would say. I personally would say run across the street. If you see an OnlyFans chick, like Dynast said, like you said, if you see OnlyFans as scripper, the psychological imbalance that she comes with, just cross the street. I don't care how good it looks. It's just Christmas ornaments. Look at it. Oh, wow, that's some nice lights, and cross the street. Don't even waste the energy. But if for whatever reason you're like a deer in the headlights, the only way you might be able to deal with that situation is the situation you would describe earlier.
Because when I played football, like you didn't want to be that dude wiping
Yeah,
up
no, that's a fact.
the G freak. Like you didn't want to be the guy wiping up the G freak. Like we would roast the hell out of you in the locker room. And so that's just carried that mindset that has followed me, or I carried that with me. I mean, throughout life. Like I don't want to be that guy where I'm walking through the streets with the jump off. Like that's embarrassing. And
No, but
people
this the
sitting there
thing, though,
laughing at
Donis. People ain't gonna wife her up, right? They're gonna position themselves where they're like pimping her. You feel what I'm saying? And your ego is gonna make you be like, yeah, I got her. We be doing threesomes or whatever. I got this, freak, whatever. We can, that's what their ego is gonna carry them into that position. But what I'm saying is, even if you're not wifing her up, and you in a position where you having fun, you doing all this different stuff. I done.
Well, you can't have
trying to do
fun.
S&M.
No,
I
you
done done
can't.
that.
The minute you cross the physical line and you remove it from the financial line, you violated rule number one.
No, that's
The
true.
minute you've crossed, so it has, excuse me, it has to be purely financial. The minute you cross and say, okay, like you said, oh, we doing threesomes and we have, you really just find an excuse.
No, no,
You
you
know,
find an
yeah,
excuse, right? You find an excuse, but that's different than what Dynas is saying in terms of you wiping her up. Like you're not dealing with her in a square way. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, it's true. You're right, but it's still another level, and the ego can make you think like, okay, I can manage this girl. I'm gonna just do it like this. You see what I'm saying? I ain't doing it like I'm some type of sucker. I'm gonna do it like this, but still, I'm saying don't do it at all.
no, I agree. I think brothers should cross the street, and I think it's funny. I was having this conversation with my boy out in DC, and we were laughing about it because we went to school in Nigeria, and I said, man, you got to go back to the village and get you a Nigerian wife, man. And he said, Faye, man, if I go to Nigeria, man, I'm gonna give me some Yoruba girl. She gonna put sand in my shoes and tell me it's gonna stop the bullets. when I'm in Southeast DC. And I was laughing. I said, but yeah, but that might be the best type of woman for you. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to you getting this booty clapper, this Meg Thee Stallion that is mentally psychotic. She's psycho, and you better off with the plain Jane. But a lot of times, and this is where men, we're guilty. We don't go after the so-called plain Jane. We'll turn down the so-called plain Jane and shit on her. We'll make up excuses. Oh, nah, crazy girl got the best sex. And I'm like, I never understood that, because I'm like, well, what do crazy girls do that regular girls don't do?
They like because I'm in their feminine. They be all over the place mentally. I don't know. It's just I'm
confused. I mean, Dinas, you ever noticed that? Not to put your business out there, do you think like crazy girls are more than so-called non-crazy girls? Because I don't think that makes sense to me.
I really never got that close to a crazy girl. Like I never really did. Like I just never really been in too much. I never really interacted a lot with crazy women like that.
I mean, look, level. There's an old saying. Oh, my bad, I cut you off.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, yeah, there's a saying that a man doesn't attract what he wants; he attracts what he is. You know what I'm saying? So if you're attracting certain stuff, that probably says something about where you at too. Speaking about myself too.
Somebody in the chat said, who wants a plain Jane? They attract the same, what he said, they take the same energy as a dime. Do you guys think that's true?
No, I don't think so.
I disagree.
Okay, so let me ask you this question. See, so I'm gonna ask you this question I always ask my boys, and I'm gonna tell you my personal answer. And obviously, I'm not a fan of what, allegedly what I heard that was going on recently with the whole, accusations against them. But before that, right, you got Tiny or you got Beyonce, right? Now, again, forget looks, because obviously based on looks, most people will gravitate towards the quote unquote Beyonce. But I'm just saying, for me personally, I would choose the Tiny because she's more reliable and dependent than the so-called Beyonce, because I'm like, nah, like I could give Tiny, Tiny, here's my check, and feel comfortable she's gonna put this money in the right place and do the right things, and we're gonna have a family TV show. My kids ain't gonna be looking crazy. My son ain't gonna be wearing a skirt. My daughter will. You know what I'm saying? Like I'd rather have that. I'm not saying Beyonce's not doing the right thing, but I'm just saying for what we would assume the so-called dime, the stress that it comes with. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I mean, it sounded to me like basically like you want a stronger woman instead of like the dainty kind of airhead arm candy. Is that what you're saying? Like the stronger,
yeah, because personally I didn't grow up with that. Like my Nigerian grandmothers, I never saw like I said on the show before, African women worked. You know what I'm saying? Like the idea of African women staying at home, that's a cosmopolitan, modern interpretation of so-called African culture, whereas the man goes to work. That's because the British didn't allow African women to work in the early 1900s after the Hut tax. But my grandmother wasn't sitting at home crying, talking about my grandfather was cheating and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like she was out there strong, or whatever that means. So I don't know. What do you?
It's it's tough to say. I've traditionally liked the ones that the more the ones that's not trying to do all that, because typically, like a chick like Tiny, I think grew up with Tiny and grew with Tiny. But when a chick like that, they grow on their own, and then by the time you make it to them, they got too much masculine energy sometimes. You see what I'm saying? But as long as they didn't got too much masculine energy and this like competitive disposition, then yeah, I want a stronger woman. Like for instance, I set up like a whole Saturday school for my daughter. I'm like looking up different things, printing things out, answering questions, whatever. And the next kids I want their mother to be able to do all that. But if you get a woman that's like too much, they can't do nothing. All they know how to do is look pretty. They can't do that type of stuff. So I can't have a woman like that. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I want, but I just want it without the masculine energy and like the not being traditional. That's the only thing. I want that, but it got to come with both.
No, I agree with you. Which is interesting when you look at a lot of these professional athletes. So I was going to ask you, Dan, it's like, as a former football player, what was the system like in terms of how the women that were either pushed towards you or that you guys gravitated towards or that gravitated towards you, and what type of quality of those women, like, was it the strong, or was it the dainty, was it a mixture? What type of women are pushed upon the athletes from a football player's perspective?
We got a wide variety, a little bit of everything, all types.
So what do the football players gravitate towards?
I mean, towards everything. Some the jump off, some the groupies, some the plain Janes. It's to each his own.
Yeah, my experience, that's what I saw. It's like you can't really put your finger on it in terms of like one type of thing. It was different type of dudes on each team. For me, like I said, I graduated from UTEP. I went to Alabama at first, like I told you earlier, but I
Roll
switched
Tide.
there. Yeah, I went there for 1 year, but I went there the year before
The hurricane. I mean, the tornado.
we were under Shula, or the dude that's winning all the championships now got there. I was on that team,
Oh,
like on
the year
practice
before Nick
squad.
Saban.
Right before Saban got there.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
Saban was at LSU before, and
There you
LSU
go.
hates him to this day
There you
for
go.
that. Diners,
No, he
don't forget.
no, he went to the Dolphins. He went from LSU to the Dolphins. The
Yes,
Dolphins
yes,
don't
yes,
like him.
yes. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
but
right.
let's shout out this brother, Tope Awatona, the founder of Calendly. Calendly. Sorry about
Yeah, you
that.
saw the link, right?
Yeah. Oh man, he's only 40 years old, man. He's young. Yeah, he's young. He's my age. Yeah, he's young brother founding Calendly, and listen, he's a billionaire now. He's a billionaire. Brother is a billionaire. So shout out to this brother. We're not gonna go into the entire article, but hey, we got another black billionaire, and it seems like all the money is in tech right now. Because when I was reading some of this previous article, like he has no office. Like there's no, I don't think there's even like a headquarters. Everybody just works on their own from home, and he's a billionaire, man. 40 years old. Shout out to that brother. We gotta congratulate
Bro,
him.
I've been using Calendly for years. I had no idea it was owned by a black man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I had no idea neither. It blew, like when I saw the article, I sent it to Diners right away. I was like, "Yo, this is crazy. I didn't know." And I've been using it. Diners. There's another dude, but because his website isn't, it's not as relevant. You remember that website, Hopstop? Back then, everybody had to use it to go. When you want to travel anywhere on. I don't know if they did in LA, but you remember that
what's it
website,
called?
Hopstop?
What's it called?
Hopstop, like it was like MapQuest. It was like a MapQuest alternative.
No, I don't remember.
But it used to be a website like if before Google Maps and all that. And it was a Nigerian dude that owned it, and he was lucky. He actually sold it. You could Google it. I think he sold it, I believe, to Apple for $1 billion at the time. Before it's no longer as relevant because of Google Maps and everything. But that was right around the time of the whole. Everybody had a GPS in their car, and yeah, you had Hopstop, so you would print out your directions.
What was it? What was the name of it? MapQuest?
No, Hopstop. You remember Hopstop? I think that's what
Nah,
it's
just
called.
MapQuest.
Yeah, it was a site called Hopstop because especially if you're using like Metro Transit like in East Coast. So like if you especially like New York, if you had to go from one place to another, like, and you didn't know, you would just quickly look at it and see what train you had to take. It would tell you what train you had to take and what bus to connect to, and you could print out the directions. And he sold it for $1 billion, I think, to Apple before. So I don't know, I think the website is gone, but yeah, like you said, Diners, tech is where the money's at.
Yeah, definitely. But guys, we're gonna go ahead and close out. Everyone, thank you for joining. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Until next time, family, Dynasty Mirror Search for Huru. Peace.